Hello everybody, happy Friday. Welcome to my Zen Den. I am so thankful that you could join me today, not tonight. Thank you for bearing with me on my time change too. My kids have an archery tournament that we have to go do some archery tonight. So thank you for bearing with me and sticking with me. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching YouTube. I am Mandy Van Havermit, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Grey Eagle, Minnesota. So today I've got just a couple of really quick cards with you, but they are the funnest, happiest color cards ever. They're so fun. It's using two online exclusives that are coming out. The Flowering Zinnias Designer Series paper and the Sweetly Scripted stamp set. So a couple of really simple cards, and I am going to get stamping right away and share this goodness with you. So hold on one second while I flip the camera around. All right. So there is our Flowering Zinnias Designer Series paper. It is like the funnest, happiest, brightest paper ever. I just love it. I love bright and happy, and it's super, super pretty. So it is available online exclusively, thus online exclusive. I'm just going to quick run through the papers here quick with you. The colors that are in the Designer Series paper are, let's see here, Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Flirty Flamingo, Highland Heather, Lemon Lime Twist, Lemon Lolly, Melon Mambo, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Pumpkin Pie, and Real Red. So there are a lot of bright, fun colors. And they just work so well together. Some Melon Mambo. I love it. It's kind of got this kind of retro feel to it. And then, of course, probably my favorite piece is one that is split in half to make some really fun panels with. So much fun. Okay, so let's get into stamping here. There's our directions. All right, so I have got, let me show you what cards we're making. Let's do that too. This is the first card that I'll be making. The Sweetly Scripted stamp set. Is that really fun? Also an new online exclusive. Happy anniversary, congratulations, happy birthday, a million thanks, speedy recovery, and save the date. So it goes with a lot of different things. Here's the first card that we're going to be making. This really cute happy birthday fun fold. It's a really simple fun fold. And then, of course, just a basic using that panel card. I'll show you how to cut that to make that work. So let's get cracking here. The first card we're making is we're going to need a 7.5 by 5.5 piece of Berry Burst, and then it's scored down the middle at 4 1/4. So just like a regular card panel, only you're going to cut off 1 inch basically. And then I've got a piece for the inside that is basic white, 5 1/4 by 5. A piece of Melon Mambo, which is 5 1/4 by 3. And a piece of the Designer Series paper, that's 5 by 2 3/4. And I forgot to grab a couple of punches here. 1 second. So I'm also going to be using a 2-inch circle punch and a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. Those aren't like written in stone circle punches. If you've got dies that you want to use a little bit different size of circles, that's cool. Use what you've got, right? So let's get going here. This is a basic card, really. What I'm going to do, my first task is to fold and burnish my card base here. And I'm going to pretend like I'm placing my white piece in here, but I'm not going to adhere it down. And there's a reason why. Because I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to stamp. And if I don't stamp correctly, guess what? I've got the opposite side of paper to go with. So I'm going to bring in my Berry Burst ink pad, and I've got my big block that I'm going to use. I believe this is an eye block. Yes, it is an eye block. I like this eye block for this stamp set, but I'm going to tell you a secret. It's retiring. So if you don't have an eye block and you want to get an eye block, I would get it sooner rather than later. before the end of April. And if things start selling out, this will be one thing that's going to go, I would believe. I would think. So I'm going to use the congratulations stamp, which is this one right here, because I think this would make a super cute wedding card. So I ink up, I've opened my Berry Burst. And I'm going to ink that up. And now I'm going to close that so I can see where I'm centering it. And I'm just going to go straight down and straight up. Just like that. And it worked out great, stamped beautifully. So I can adhere it down now. And that's the only stamping I'm going to do on this card. This would make a really pretty wedding card. So if you want to stamp another sentiment on the inside with your congratulations, you can totally do that. So let's adhere that down, the inside. Or you could just leave it like this and your congratulations says it all right there. So the best part about stamping is it is your creation and you can do whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so I've got this cute little butterfly, and this comes from the in the January to April mini catalog. There's some butterfly, it's basically an ephemera pack, comes with a lot, I think it's about 40 butterflies. That's one of those. That's where I got my butterfly from. And now I'm going to take my circles and I am going to, I've got a scrap of Berry Burst, so I'm going to punch a 2-inch circle out of that, and then with my 1 1/4 inch circle punch, I'm going to take my layer of Melon Mambo and I'm taking a circle right out of the center of that, because that's going to get hidden. Nobody will ever know that it's missing. So let's stack those up. Aren't these just like the funnest colors ever though? They're so happy. Happy, happy colors. All right, so I'm going to layer that right on top. See, nobody sees that you've taken a circle out of the inside of your card. I love little tricks like that. You know what? I'm going this way just because that flower there in my head needs to be facing up. And maybe in your head you didn't even see that. It's all good. Now I'm going to take, this is also an online exclusive. It actually paired with the coffee suite, the Latte Love suite. But I'm going to use it with this card because I think it adds a really nice element. And I'm just going to, roughly about right there, I'm not going to get too particular, and I'm going to flip it over. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm actually flipping that and I'm going to line it up. And then that is where I'm going to cut my ribbon. So I've got the same angle basically. And so I can lay that right on top just like that. So what I'll do is I will put just a little piece of adhesive there and just like that. So now I've got that really cute ribbon, and that'll mail nice too. So now I'm going to layer my circles together, my Melon Mambo on top of my Berry Burst, and I'm just centering those over the top of each other. And then let's grab some dimensionals. And I will put that, center that right on there, just like that. And now I'll take a little bit of green glue, and I know it seems like I'm using a lot of different adhesives, and I kind of am, but be very light-handed with our green glue. This is about the only way I've found to hold these little guys down, and you want to be super light-handed because you don't want it to squish out. If you have a fine-tip glue pen, it would work well for this also. But just basically on the bigger pieces of my butterfly's wing. Got another one there. Just a teeny tiny bit, just like that, okay? So I'm going to put him down just like that. And then my glue isn't going to seep out. So just let that sit there for just a quick second. I'm going to grab my basic rhinestone jewels, which are probably my most used embellishment. I love these little guys. They go with everything because they are clear. And you can color them if you'd like to. You could color them with some blends. So keep that in mind. Anytime you need any specific color of jewel, if you have Stampin' Blends or alcohol markers, you can color your light colored or your clear embellishments. Gives you lots of different variety and alternatives. So there is our first card. Super quick, super simple, right? I love it. I love this Zinnia set, or the Zinnia paper. I think it's just phenomenal. And these sentiments just are the best. So second card here again, really quick and easy card. I am going to be using this piece of paper here. So I have got a piece of Blackberry Bliss, 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle right at 5 1/4. So just a basic card panel. I have taken my piece of, remember my piece of paper here. So this one here, I cut right at 6 inches. So I put it in my trimmer and I cut it right at 6 inches. So this is 6 inches here and 4 inches. So you can get 6 of those out of one piece of paper. And I'm going to actually trim this a little bit, and I'll show you how I do that. And then I've got a piece of cardstock for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4, so just a piece of basic white. And then I've got a 3/4 inch strip of basic white, and I don't really necessarily need to measure it the long way because I'm going to trim it. I just want that sentiment on there. So let's bring in my paper trimmer, and what I'm going to do is I am going to line this up in my paper trimmer. So this is 6 inches, right? I'm going to line this up. I would like to take off the bottom because I like that white space up at the top. That's just a me thing. So I'm going to line it up at 5 1/4. So it's going to leave me with a 3/4 inch strip. And I'm going to use that on the front of my card also. Okay. So we're going to fold and burnish our Blackberry Bliss. And then I'm going to stick this directly right on top of there. And for real, like the easiest card front ever, right there. No stamping or anything really. And I love the way that this paper, the patterns on the front and the back, they really play well together. They're a little on the busy side, but I like the busyness. I think that it works well. So while I've got my ink or my adhesive out, let's do one more and do that inside panel. All right, and now I've got my 3/4 inch strip of white here, and I'm going to clean my stamp off, and I'm going to change stamps actually. I just don't want to get full of ink, and use my Simple Chamois, my favorite tool ever that I've ever used for stamping. It's nice, it's lint free. If you don't have one, that is the one stamping tool I would say that we have that beats anybody else's. I have a lot. We have a lot. Stampin' Up! Has a lot that beats anybody else's, but the chamois is fantastic. Okay, so I've got my happy birthday stamp here, and I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss ink. I'm just going to grab a little sheet of paper to protect my desk, and I'm only really going to stamp up the middle part of my happy birthday. Just like that. I don't care about that because I'm not going to use that. So I'm centering it on my 3/4 inch strip. Straight down, straight up, just like that. I can close that. And now I'm just going to eyeball it and center my cuts. I have got a lot of adhesive on here. I can tell when I cut, it sticks right to it. Okay. And just like that. All right. Super cute, right? Isn't that fun? I like it. So what I'm going to do now is just adhere my strip opposite direction right onto my card front. Like so. And then I'll grab some dimensionals. Probably 3. Oh, my last one's not coming off. It's stuck. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to put that down right there. And then with this suite of products, there's a stamp set and a die set that come with the Zinnias. And they're beautiful and I love them. And there are also these adhesive back shiny sequins. They're the right colors that coordinate really pretty and I just like them. They're happy, happy sequins. And they mail well because they're nice and flat. So let's grab my take your pick and I'm just going to put a couple of them on here. Maybe, whew, it flew right up there. Okay, got it. I have rescued the sequin. Right there. And maybe a happy yellow one up there. And an orange. And that's card number 2. Can we get any more basic than that? You know what? I have enough time. I'm actually going to show you a third card because it is like for real. I've done the Berry Burst and the Mellow Mambo. I've done the Blackberry Bliss. So let's do an orange one. This one I've actually, I'm casing from my friend Janine. I love how this card turned out. So let's share that one. I do have, there we go. Okay, so we have got an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of pumpkin pie. And this is scored twice. So this is also a fun fold. It's scored at 2 1/8 and at 4 1/4. So basically what I'm telling you is to score it normal and then score one of those panels in half. Okay, so we've got a nice even fold there. I have got 2 pieces of lemon lime twist, 4 by 5 1/4. I've got a piece of designer series paper. Is it fun? Oh my gosh, it's so fun. 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and a piece of basic white, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I have another 3/4 inch strip of pumpkin pie that I will trim down to fit once I get it stamped. I just want to make sure I stamp it in the correct spot. So I'm actually going to be stamping on this orange, my pecan pie. And let's see, I think, what sentiment should I use? I think I'm going to go with a happy anniversary. So let's pull out our chamois one more time, clean that stamp off. And, or should I do speedy recovery? Let's do speedy recovery. I need a get well card. All right, so we're going to be doing a little bit of heat embossing, which is one of my very favorite techniques. It's one of those techniques that made me fall in love with paper crafting because it's magic. So what you're going to need to do your heat embossing is you're going to need an embossing buddy. And once you purchase one of these, it will last you forever. I think this thing is all of 5 years old. It is my original embossing buddy that I have ever purchased. So still got lots of life left. And what that does is it puts just a little piece of chalk, like a little film of chalk, so that your embossing powder doesn't stick where you don't want it to stick. So our Versamark ink pad, which is clear Versamark ink. And I'm just going to ink up my stamp here. And I'm going to stamp it right straight down. just like you normally would, and straight up, cover my Versamark ink, and then I'm going to take my white embossing powder and just dump that on. And I don't care how much I'm dumping on. It looks like a hot mess, but when I tap it off, there we go. So all of our embossing powder stuck where the Versamark was, and it didn't stick where I didn't want it to. So let's pour that back into our little container. My advice is to always close your container before you pull out your heat tool. Okay, and now my heat tool, I have got my heat tool here. I'm going to put it on our second setting, our second heat setting, and I will set this embossing fold, or this embossing powder. So look at what it looks like right now. And you should be able to see it turn to plastic, like a plasticky kind of look as it heats up. There we go. You see that? It's like magic. So there we go. Seriously, one of my favorite techniques, because I think it is such, it's magic. It's just magic. And so you want to make sure that you get it so that, oh, right there, I can see my R isn't quite right. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So if I would have left that, I would have been able to wipe that R, this R right here off. So you can see that it's like a nice plasticky, shiny silver or white. It's awesome. I love it. I just love it. Okay, so let's build our card here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of designer series paper and put that right on top of my lemon lime twist. And if you find that using glue is easier for this, because there's a really small border around here, if you find that using glue is easier for you on this, use glue. Do whatever makes you happy. Finding the adhesive of choice is like, it's everybody's different. Everybody likes to use different things. I have stampers that I stamp with that only use glue. I have stampers that I stamp with that never use glue. And then there's me, who uses a little bit of everything. Find your groove and go with it, right? Okay, so we've mounted our panels onto our lemon lime twist. So I'm going to fold and burnish our card base here. So I'm folding it in that way, and then I'm folding it in half again this way. And now when building a card like this, what I like to do is I like to put the middle panel in first, so that when I go to mount my top panel, I can line it up exactly perfectly on top of my inside panel. So it doesn't, you don't get that kind of a thing going on. Okay, so let's mount this inside panel. And here again, I like this fold because you can write a nice note inside of it and it gets hidden. Where some of them are harder to write a note inside to your friends that you're wishing a speedy recovery to. So this is a really good one. But before I mount this onto here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it on there and snip it. And you can cut it to the exact size. But this way, if you got something that you didn't really like, you know, with their longer sentiment, there's no worries. You can cut off the part that you don't like. So I'm going to put that on there. And now let's mount this onto our card. And what I like to do is put my adhesive right on this part so that You don't seal your card shut because you don't want any adhesive over our white. So just like that, I'm being mindful to line up this side over here, top and bottom, and then I can push it down over there, and now our card opens perfectly. Awesome, right? Okay, let's grab our dimensionals. And I go a little heavy on these dimensionals, and if you would like only use 3, that's fine. I just don't like when my longer spans of cardstocks sag. I don't like them sagging. So that's my own little personal preference. Like I said, there's no wrong way to do this. Let your creativity and let yourself be your own guide, right? Okay, so my last thing I'm going to use here is a piece of just regular baker's twine, and I am tying a basic knot or a basic bow. There's 2 ways you can do it. I'm going to do the little bunny ears, hopefully, because it's always harder to do when I've got a camera on me. If somebody's watching, I'm telling, it's really hard. Okay. I did it. Woohoo! That wasn't even painful. Okay. There we go. Just a cute little bow. If you wanted to do a double bow, if you wanted to use some ribbon, awesome. I just think the bow, I liked the way that Janine's little white simple bow looked on here. So just like that. And I'm going to grab a glue dot. One more kind of adhesive, right? I should do a card sometime and focus on using all the different kinds of adhesives. Oh, and there's my take your pick tool. I set it over here. See, this is why I lose everything, because I got stuff sitting everywhere. So I'm going to kind of roll that glue dot up, and I'm sticking it right on my little white spot there, and I'm kind of just squishing it together so that it hides. And I'll turn it a little bit so you can read that it says speedy recovery. And just for fun, let's add some bling, because bling makes everything better. How about an orange one? And these really are subtle on this really busy paper, but they just add enough little sparkle. And everybody loves a little sparkle. That one's got a mind of its own. There you go. Okay, so there's card number 3. Aren't they? Oh my gosh. Guys, they're so fun. They're so fun. So here is, let's see here. These are my cards. These are the 3 cards that I made today using that Zinnia paper along with the Sweetly Scripted. And they're both online exclusives. I'll put a link in the description of this video if you'd like a link to the online store to find those online exclusives. So, hi there, Lou. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me at my weird time. So, if you are looking for any of the online exclusives, like I said, I will post a link. And if you go into the store, there's actually a column that says online exclusives, and all of these are in there. So lots of fun stuff. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you again next Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.